because she had. It was a custom-built tribute that the Ferrari family gifted to Romulus every 10 years. Whenever she was displeased with him and wanted him to know, she stole the current car as revenge. It didn't matter what fancy new security system he had built for it, she would bypass it and take it all the same. Laverna changed gears, drifting the car around the front of the brightly lit and still crowded Altare della Patria, scaring the shit out of the tourists taking photos in front of it. Laverna cackled and kept driving. She had learned to take her laughs where she could get them, and she needed a laugh. 5 of her people had been found dead, cut to shreds by deadly claws and mauled on by fangs. They had been hunted by a beast, and Romulus and his wolves were at the top of her suspect list. Romulus insisted that it hadn't been his pack, but she didn't know any other monster living in the city that could cause that kind of damage. Bringing the car when he came to see the bodies of her slain had been just plain stupid. Romulus wasn't stupid, which meant he was worried, and that made her worry about him. She hated it and couldn't stop. What affected them always ended up reflecting in the fabric of the city itself, and she liked it the way it was. Romulus had also promised to come and check the bodies at midday and hadn't turned up until sundown. It showed a complete disrespect for her and her time, so she had let minions take him to the bodies and she had stolen the car. She wanted to drive the Ferrari straight into the fucking Tiber River, but it was just too pretty in a brutish way, just like its owner. Fuck him and his perfect fucking hair. Laverna huffed out a frustrated breath, rummaged through the console and found one of the fancy cigars Romulus always had stashed there. She lit it and breathed out a plume of smoke. Yeah, he always did have the nice shit, and that was one of the reasons she couldn't help taking it. Laverna really didn't want a war with the wolves. She had only just avoided starting one with Bologna. So she may have kidnapped the love of her life, but she couldn't have known which Raphael was hers. She sure as fuck knew now. They were currently both on a beach somewhere chilling out, and Rome was safe from Bologna's temper. Disaster averted. Something was still eating away at Romulus. He had always been in control. It was the stick up his ass that kept Rome in order. Deep down, Laverna knew he hadn't killed her people, but she wasn't going to rule out any of his wolves. It had been a sloppy and chaotic slaughter, which wasn't Romulus's style. If he were in a mood to kill her people, Laverna would have gotten an official letter telling her exactly why they deserved to die. He was just like that. There was a lingering magic on the bodies that set her teeth on edge, too, and she had no way to account for it. With any luck, Romulus's big nose would pick up a lead on it that she couldn't. Her phone rang, and she hit the answer button. "Pronto?" she trilled brightly, switching gears just to make the engine roar. "Bring back my fucking car," Romulus growled through the superb speaker system. "Who is this?" she replied. "And how did you get this number? If you are going to try and get me to upgrade my insurance plan to a new provider, you should know I'm very happy with my current one." "Do you want to hear the information I have on your dead bodies or not?" Romulus asked, the growl turning into a persuasive purr. A still, sensitive place on her neck tingled. He had lost his temper the night before when she had visited to tell him about the bodies. Then he pinned her and licked her neck, or his wolf had. His eyes had been glowing bright amber, and Laverna had allowed herself a moment of weakness. She let herself want him just for a moment, before she had shut it down so fast it had left her head spinning. Romulus was a force of nature, and she would never admit that she had wanted to climb him like a tree ever since she first met him. He had never seemed to be interested in her that way until he licked her. A small part of Laverna might have been